For decades, Howard Schultz was held as an example of benign U.S. capitalism. His company was the first to offer ownership equity in a strong benefits package, and now it says it offers a minimum wage of over $17 an hour, among the highest in the country. The committee chair, though, sees another picture.
Over the past 18 months, Starbucks has waged the most aggressive and illegal union-busting campaign in the modern history of our country. That union-busting campaign has been led by Howard Schultz.
Starbucks has become the focus of intense criticism by labor groups for allegedly trying to crush attempts by individual stores to unionize.
Every day we wake up thinking about how we can put our people first, put them in a position to win, and do everything we can to demonstrate the conscience, the heart, and the values of Starbucks Coffee Company.
And there was support from a number of committee members.
Don't deride one of the great American success stories. I don't want to be part of any witch hunt that vilifies any American business.
The committee also heard from some of the more than 80 people who say they've been fired from Starbucks for union activity.
Thank you, Chairman Sanders.
Among them, Jason Saxton, a former union organizer at a Starbucks in Georgia, who testified he was fired in a phone call 2 hours before the beginning of his shift for what was described as disruptive behavior. Before the hearing, he told me that far from being disruptive, his union work was intended to better the futures of his co-workers and his 2-year-old daughter, Ava.
Because otherwise, she's going to have to continue to see mom and dad struggling and unhappy and stressed. The quote-unquote American dream is just hustle culture at this point. And I don't want my daughter to have to deal with that.
And a number of Republicans on the committee sharply attacked the National Labor Relations Board, claiming it displayed a strongly anti-corporate bias in a bid to garner union support for the Biden administration.
Are NLRB employees weaponizing the agency against American employers?
And while that debate rages, the reality is that dozens like Jason Saxton and his family are paying the price of what they regard as corporate greed. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Cathy Creighton is director of Cornell University School of Industrial and Labor Relations. She says that a unionized workforce is more productive and safer for the employees.
Workers generally want to have, and this is particularly with the Starbucks workers, they want to have a say in their workforce. They don't want to be told what to do by a benevolent dictator, as Howard Schultz apparently thinks that he is. And I think that what the American public should know is that a unionized workforce is really a much better workforce, not just for the workers and for the employer also, and particularly beneficial in a civil society. So where there's a unionized workforce, we have a more equitable workforce where people of color do much better, up to 20% better than their non-union peers, where the gender gap is cut in half in a unionized workforce, where there's higher productivity, higher retention rates, a safer workplace, a happier workplace. And then there's all these myriad of things that ripple out from that, so that unionized workers generally give more to charity. They have increased voter turnout. They volunteer in their communities more often. So there's lots of reasons for America to want to have a unionized workforce where employees simply have a say in their workplace. And that was not acknowledged by Starbucks at all.